Hey guys, Ayush here from The Tech, and it has been almost 2 months since Apple's 13-inch MacBook Pro is out in the market. How good is it? Let's find out. Okay, so this is the 13-inch MacBook Pro 2020. A laptop with some small changes like double storage, the Magic Keyboard, an inverted T arrow key, a dedicated escape key, and a separate Touch ID. Other than that, it's the same MacBook with a huge trackpad and same design as last year's. Now talking about the display, simply open the lid and you will be greeted with a gorgeous 1680 by 1050 Retina display with Apple's True-Tone technology, which I never use, but it is there for you in case if you want to use it. Now talking about the display, it is white P3 color gamut, and honestly speaking, this display is great. The color accuracy is so nice that if you're a content creator or a photo editor, you're thoroughly gonna enjoy this display. Also, the 500 nits of the brightness of the display will help you maintain that visibility outdoors as well, which is nice. Now coming down from the display, you will get a Magic Keyboard, which adds some extra thickness to the device with the increase in the key travel. But that is a welcome move, as those butterfly keyboard literally sucked in terms of typing experience. Now Apple says that they didn't just take their old keyboard and slap it here, but what they did is they did some work to make the entire keycap more stable, so when you push it down the corner, it pushes down flat instead of some wobble. Also, there is much more improvement in the typing experience, and the keyboard sound is also very satisfying. Now flanked on both the sides of the keyboard are the speakers. These speakers are same as the 16-inch MacBook Pro and both support Dolby Atmos playback. It's just those speakers are tiny little bass heavy compared to this one, but this here is no slouch. It's way far better compared to its Windows counterparts, and you're thoroughly gonna enjoy your music. Take a look. The model that I'm using here is the base model with 1.4 GHz quad-core 8th generation Intel Core i5 processor with turbo boost up to 3.9 GHz. The processor is more or less the same as the last year's base model. Where you will find the difference is the storage. Last year's machine had 128 GB SSD, while this time it's 256 GB. So you will get double the storage this time around than the last year. It has 8 GB of LPDDR3 RAM, and in terms of graphics, it has Intel's Iris Plus 645 graphics. These are integrated ones, not the dedicated ones, so don't expect much in terms of gaming experience. And in terms of ports, it has two Thunderbolt 3 ports and a headphone jack. Now these Thunderbolt 3 ports supports external display up to 5K compared to 6K on the 10th generation processor. Now with such processing power, the device will run your day-to-day tasks like browsing the web, streaming on Netflix, watching YouTube videos, listening music on Spotify, documentations, etc. smoothly without any issues. But put the CPU through its paces and the thermals will kick in. The fan noise is a bit loud, but the good thing here is that your performance won't be hindered and the machine still manages to perform the task efficiently. And here is the fan noise. Now do note that there is a difference of thermal design between the 8th generation CPU and the 10th generation CPU. The 10th generation CPU gets two thermal fans while the 8th generation one gets a single fan. So there will be some sort of difference in terms of thermal performance. If we talk about the battery of the device, it is a 58.2 watt hour lithium polymer battery, and Apple claims 10 odd hours of battery life. But you will end up getting around 6 to 6.5 hours of usage if you are doing light stuff. But once you throw some heavy task on that CPU, you will end up getting 3 to 3.5 hours of battery life. And charging it won't take too long, as it gets a 61 watt USB-C power adapter which will charge your device more or less in an hour. Now the question here arises, should you get this device at this price point where you have options for Windows laptop with latest processors? What I say is yes, you should get it. Yes, there is an 8th generation CPU, but the thing here is there is only 20% performance difference between the 8th generation CPU and the 10th generation CPU, so you won't be sacrificing much of your performance. Also in terms of RAM, majority of the people won't even feel the difference between the LPDDR3 and DDR4 RAMs unless you are a serious content creator. And the best thing around here is the Apple ecosystem. I mean, you can unlock your Mac with your Apple Watch, or you can connect your AirPods with any of your Apple device simultaneously, or you can use your iPad as a secondary Mac display with Sidecar. So there are many more goodies with the Apple ecosystem compared to Windows counterparts, and this is a great thing here. Also, you'll be getting a great Apple customer support experience, for which Apple is famous for. So yes, we definitely recommend you this product. Hope you guys liked this video and found this video helpful. If yes, then do click the like and the subscribe button. It will be helpful for us, and stay tuned for many more such contents. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.